Have you ever thought about buying land and building your dream home and thought, you know what? I've been looking for houses on the open market, can't quite find what I want. I'm just going to pivot. I'm going to buy some land and build my dream house. How simple should it be? It should be fairly simple because I already have my 3% down payment. Not a big deal, right? Well, a land loan and buying your own house and building it on your land is a very, very, very unique process, and it costs a lot more money than a lot of people think. And as we have progressed through 2026, we have had clients that reach out to us actually probably twice a week. People reach out to us wanting to buy land, and they just don't understand that it is a different animal. So today I wanted to bring Stephen on and talk about this whole loan process of buying land, number one, and how do you build your dream home on it, and what kind of money do you need down? So Stephen, you're the expert on the land and construction side. Fill us in on the actual numbers that we're talking about for someone who's maybe pre-approved up to 400,000. They can't find what they want out there. They're just going to pivot and buy land.
Yeah, and we get the same thing from the mortgage side, and it's the it's human nature, right? Like, oh, I like everybody else's stuff, but it's just not perfect, and I can make whatever I want and make my dream home. And yes, you can. But first and foremost, a lot of the people that want to do this are first time home buyers or people who are using minimal down payment loans, right? So sometimes, human nature is also, champagne taste on a beer budget, right? So we have to be honest. It's one of our core values here at the Alcova Mortgage is telling the truth. So we got to say, look, what you're asking me is for a first time home buyer 100% construction loan. That does not exist. And if it does, somebody let me know. But to my knowledge, there's no such product out there. And to achieve this American dream of buying land and building your dream forever house, it just requires you to write some big checks. So if you cannot buy the land for cash, and then land is at an all-time high, right? Everybody wants land, developers want land, builders want land, the consumer wants land, and there's only so much land, right? So based on the location, the land may be more than you've been approved to to buy the existing house. But right now, a land loan that we offer, there's other things out there, but we offer a land loan and it's pretty standard across the board. It requires 35% down payment. So if you're trying to buy $100,000 piece of land, you're going to have to put up 35 grand plus closing cost just to acquire it. And land loans are, in a sense of the word, a temporary loan. So they're a 10-year term because the next goal is to build a house on it. So that payment is also amortized 20 years less than your 30-year fix. So that payment's through the roof for the time that you have that land loan. So that alone, that conversation stops a lot of people like, ugh, well, I can't do that. Okay, not now, but you can't get to the top of the ladder if you don't go the proper stair step. So let's work towards that goal later on in life. But that's just the land part, Brian.
Yeah. So let's say, if someone's buying a piece of land, you said for 100 grand, they need to put down 35%. So that's 35,000, right? Then let's say that they find a builder to build them their dream home, and the cost of construction is 400,000. So now we've got 400,000 tied up in the construction plus the 100,000 for the land, right? So now we're talking a total build of 500,000. But when you go to get a construction loan, they're going to ask for, hey, we need to have X amount percentage of equity in order for us to start. So what's that number typically on the construction loan?
So yeah, and you're all over it. That's exactly how that works. So we look at it in a three-step process. Your land equity, or the cost of the land, then your cost to go vertical, which in this cost to build, which in this scenario would be 400,000, and then that brings your project total to 500,000. So you would have to have 20% equity in your project total. So in this example, if you've already done this and you put 35,000 down for your land, then in order to get your first construction draw, you'd have to have 20% of 500,000, which is 100 grand. So you'd have to stroke another $65,000 check to make that happen. So back to the thing. Yes, you can absolutely do all this, but not if you also need 100% financing, 3.5%, 5% down. There's just no way to make that math work because they want your investment and they want your equity. And really, banks are always looking out for themselves, right? But like in the event that something were to happen and you had a half built, custom home and the bank had to take that back, they're not equipped to bring that to market and sell it and get their money back. So you have to have skin in the game, because this is a risky loan. It's a risky proposition for the bank to give you a lot of money to build your personal dream home with a green kitchen, right? You may love it, but who else wants a green kitchen, right? So people have to just understand, why is that? That seems ridiculously costly. Well, it's also risky, right? It's the riskiest loan that's out there, but it can be done. But the message I wanted to get out today is like, it's for a person who's in their a season of life where they can write those checks and they're comfortable doing that, because maybe they sold their first or second or third house and they have equity and things like that. It's normally not for a first time home buyer to go out and buy land and build their dream home right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, if you're getting value from this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, Stephen, you briefly told me that tomorrow, I think, you guys are getting a new land product, that we're going to bring a video to that next week. So we're excited to share that and all the details
Yeah, and
around that.
that's super exciting, because that means that that there's more energy, right? Like when the mortgage market in a whole tightens up, they take away products that are luxury products or are riskier products, because it's like, we don't know. So now that we're getting some of that back, that's a positive sign for the market moving forward, that there's new lending energy. And it's like, hey, we want to bring new products and help people get land and help people do this. So my hope is that maybe it's not as much down, or maybe a longer term, but we'll definitely bring that breaking news next week. But just the fact that we're getting new products to offer, that gives me tons of energy towards just for the market as a whole right now.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, if you have questions about a land loan, reach out to Stephen. All of his contact information is below. If you want to answer questions about the whole construction to perm build process, he'll have those finance answers for you. But if you are looking for land, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you find what you're looking for. All my contact information is below as well. We thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.